MSMP. Yesterday we discussed the first stage process global settings. Any questions on the process global settings, definitions? Okay, we will start with second one. Okay, sorry, before going to that, 1 minute. Now, please confirm, are you able to see the MSMP screen? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the navigation for MSMP is GRC access control, workflow for access control, and it will automatically open the web page. To just give overview, so this is a display and change icon available on the process global settings, and the list of process IDs are available in the complete screen in the process global settings, and the rule IDs, respective rule IDs will be mapped for the process ID. Now, BC set. Okay. Um, there is a GRC BC set, MSMP configuration. So this is the BC set. We must activate this BC set, GRC underscore MSMP underscore configuration. Might be if you observe the earlier version of 10, it might be split into three BC sets for GRC, but later GRC 10.1 it has incorporated and merged with only MSMP configuration. This is the only one BC set which is available. Everything, yeah, everything, all the 7 stages, all the standard configuration will be available once you have activated the BC set, GRC MSMP workflow BC set. Okay. Yeah. Now, so this is in display mode. If we click, then it will automatically enable. So the display and change, that will be available on only the first stage. So as soon as you cross multiple stages, but you need to come back to first stage, then only you will be able to access, edit or display anything. Now, okay, this is where the notification settings. So here we can add. So here the end of request and request submission, we will get it, two notifications, because the request submission and end of the request will consider as a global for irrespective of any of the request. So that is the reason the notifications will be available on the first stage. The templates are standard. AR submit and rejected. This is the standard notifications. So in case if you want to change in any of the things, sorry, if you want to map any of the notification, then probably you need to modify, then you can edit. Actually end of the request is close, not rejected, so we will consider as a template ID close. So here this is what I was talking about. The notification should not go to user, maybe request close fine, but at least don't send to user. We will always select request. because even though if it is a multi-user or cutover any of the request which is role removal, then it is always better to make a recipient ID as requester instead of user. So the current approver means as soon as the request submitted, then we will notify to either a requester or the approver. The current approver means either, since this is the request, consider this is create account, then manager, whatever the first stage, that is the current approver. If you have submitted firefighter, the current approver is firefighter owner. So based on the request type, it will automatically notification will send to the approver. But it is not mandatory you can maintain here. Even you can maintain requester with the whatever the request submission details. Like suppose the request number, you want to know the request number and the respective details, then you can make notify to requester. Okay. Now escape conditions. So auto provisioning failure, approver not found. To populate any of the path, you need to create on the maintain paths. You need to design any of the path. Just let me check. Is there any path available for escape? No, there is no path available. So generally, the escape path will be created on the fifth stage. As soon as it will be created, then we can map to, we can select that path and map to this particular escape condition. We will maintain the same escape condition and auto provisioning failure. Probably we will create one path during the request failure, then we will map to the request during our practice sessions. And this is what I was talking about, the process global setting escalations, but seems to be this particular area was changed. Earlier in the sessions, the versions of GRC 10, as soon as we enable the escalation configuration, we will get the complete notifications like template and submission template. But it seems to be that was disabled by some reason. I need to check that because we have not enabled any of the project, so I'm not sure. But as soon as we selected and select the date, starting from today, the workflow escalation, then it will consider as soon as we will send email like escalation reminders. This is the reference date. Then based on the escalation next 2 days or next 10 days, based on the request type, we will make escalation. So this is the date, reference date we will consider, and after 2 days or after 3 days, after 10 days, based on the escalation type, it will trigger to the approvers. But it seems to be the screen has changed. Yes, 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 yes. The workflow, like probably the workflow starting time we can consider the system user time. No, we generally do that because see the process global settings, the draw of this process global settings is the access request type. Here the access request type, which is merged with a couple of user administration activities like create, change, delete, lock, unlock, cutover, firefighter, all the request types. So if we enabled this escalation, that will be applicable for all the request types which are associated with the process ID. So there might be a chance the SLA period will be different for different modules. like firefighter request might be different, access request might be different, and change request might be different, lock request might be different. But irrespective of the request type, once we enable, it will work, it will dominate complete local escalation period. Local escalation period means stage level configurations. Based on the request type, we will develop the stages that will dominate the global. It will consider as a global notification and it will send the reminders. But this screen seems to be changed. I need to check that, but I'll provide more details on what version it was changed. But earlier the screen seems to be like this. It has what notification template has to be sent and who is the recipient. Everything we will provide the details as soon as we enable the escalation. That is so far we discussed yesterday. Now we will move to maintain rules, the second stage. So here the maintain rules means, rule means set of instructions. So all the rule IDs, either custom or standard, all the rule IDs will be updated or available in the maintain rules. In this rules, we have a type called rule kind. So yesterday we discussed initiator. In the Msmp, we discussed terminology, initiator which trigger the workflow, and each process ID it will be available one initiator only. So that rules will be available in the rule kind. That is four types. One is a initiator rule, and second one is agent rule, third one is routing rule, and fourth one is notification variable rule. So initiator which trigger the workflow, agent which identifies the approver, routing there is a separate specific condition, the it bypass the original path and taking to the separate path. And the notification variable rule means all the standard notifications will be available in the notification rule. Any questions here? Yes, detour and routing, both names are same. Detour is the actually GRC 5.3 name. So later they have made it as routing. And if you worked on 5.3 CAD, custom approved determination something in GRC 5.3, now they made it as agent rule in GRC 10 version, the latest versions. Routing and detour both are same. Okay, we have a four rules, kind of rules: initiator, agent, notification, routing. Also, the rule type. We have a rule type. So the first three: BRF plus, function module, ABAP class. All three rule types are use all the three rules. We will only use the BRF plus flat rule, which is line by line item execution. This is where we will use the customization purpose. In case we need customization, we will use the BRF plus flat rule. But there are some standard function modules like how the SAP screens will be developed, right? The standard rule IDs will be developed with function module. I don't think so. There is another ABAP class or anything example. Flat by flat rule is custom. Yeah, everything, all the standard rules are developed with function module based. The standard SAP function module, with help of standard function module, we will sorry, SAP developed these standard rules, but in our case, the customization, we will use the BRF plus flat rule. So as of now, just forget on BRF plus customization. First, we will go with the standard. Then we will discuss some of the scenarios why customization is required. Then we will discuss on the importance of BRF plus and how we can achieve the custom requirement. Also, the second stage, rule kind and rules. There is a global rules. In the second stage, the global rules, there is an area where you can identify the process initiator. So in general, whenever you got the GRC system in the support mode, or generally in the support mode, you want to identify what is the initiator rule. So as soon as the process initiator in the second stage, the process initiator screen, if you observe, the whatever the process ID which is maintained here, that is the one active initiator rule which is using in the environment, a custom environment, like a system. So you can easily identify in the global rules. And notification rule is a standard rule. So generally we won't customize this. We will just create a notification variable that we will discuss in the fourth stage. But notification rule, generally we will use the same notification rule only. We won't customize any of the notifications. So why this place, and how we can determine. So if I select initiator rule, we will get a couple of initiator rules. It was created different. This is the custom. All the 000 starts with 000. This is BRF plus customization. We will discuss later, but the custom initiator rule looks like this. So here there are total 5 initiator rules are available. Which one is active and which one is currently using in the system, you can identify in the process initiator. And also here, the first, as soon as you change this, automatically that will update it here. So in the first stage you can't change it, but if you want to change it, then you have to come to second stage. In the process initiator, then you can change. So yeah. Yes. I'm showing. You don't wait. Yeah. So as soon as, if you created any custom, I just selected one rule. So as soon as you have created any new initiator rule, so you want to make active in MSMP, so you can come to second stage, then you can select and save the workflow, just refresh, then automatically that will be updated in the first page as well. So now this is your system, customer environment. So you cannot understand what is, but this is the description. So when you came and you can select the rule kind, initiator. Then based on the description, this might be your initiator rule. Okay, got it? Yeah, now Pratap, you're asking something. Yes, yes. But if you want to change it, if you want to change it, then again the same process. Go to change mode. You can change into second stage. Then automatically the new process ID will be reflected. Yeah, you were saying something. Mm-hmm. 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 No, 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 nothing. No, no. Okay, now, okay, there is a one more important thing in the second stage. Very important, the heart of the MSMP. That is okay. That is called rule result values. Okay, this is the where you need to add the rule result values. I'll tell what is the rule result value. Okay, this is where the place we can add the complete rule result values. Based on that we can define the workflow. But the rule result values which helps to trigger the workflow, that details will be maintained on the maintained rules. So now I have selected the ZAR access request, right? If I select the initiator, the standard default initiator rule will be updated. As soon as you have selected the initiator rule, the below rule result values, whatever the mapping rule result values will be displayed here. Okay. Now, what is rule result value? If you observe in the standard um, workflow, you will get only default. The default rule result, the value is description is default rule result. But when we go for customization, the change account, the manual path might be. So whatever the workflow configuration we need to configure in the GRC system, each workflow we have to create one rule result value. This rule result value will be mapped to path. Understand me? Suppose this initiator rule is created for manual path, some portal role, then new account path, change account path. So by seeing this is like a generic names we will create, and these values we will maintain in the BRF class, and the same values we will maintain here. This is the interaction medium from BRF plus to MSMP. If one word is not appropriate, even this is also case sensitive, so you cannot, whatever the words which you maintain in the BRF plus, same words we need to maintain in the rule result. So this is where the place trigger of the workflow in the MSMP. So yes, yes, and don't ask more questions on BRF plus right now. Okay, I'm just stopping. Okay, right now. So this is where the place we will maintain the trigger values, and the values we will map to paths in the route mapping. That is what you need to do. But while practice, you will came to know the complete details. So in the maintain rules, we just recap. All the standard rules are available and custom rule details also available. Basically, the rule IDs will be four rule kinds: initiator, agent, routing, and notification. And also, standard rule IDs are developed or maybe will help to develop based on the rule type, function module, BRF plus, ABAP class based, and BRF plus flat by flat rule. Also, in the second stage, we will modify our process initiator rule in the process global rules. Then the subsequent rule result values will be updated in the second stage. That is what we discussed. Any questions on this stage? Huh? Sorry? Sorry? Uh-huh. Yeah, say, suppose, okay. If you want to add anything, rule ID, if you want to add any rule ID, so here we can select a rule type, flat by flat rule, and rule kind, whether it is initiator rule. See, when we go to customization, we will create initiator rule. Suppose like how this was designed. The same, we will maintain the 000 ID, then the description z underscore init. I'm just giving example. Like this, we will develop, and as soon as save it, the new initiator rule will be added here. So since we have not created any, and this needs to be some BRF plus, that is the reason I just not use this option. But whenever we create any custom, we will use add, and in case of any description changes, we will use modify. If we don't want it, then we will use delete in this area. Similarly, rule result values also. Yes, rule ID means only the description, kind of a description. You cannot change the rule ID. In case any description you want to give it, then we can give it, because this is auto populated for the custom. Yes, yeah. As soon as we create it, then it will automatically generate. Yeah, we will maintain. 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It starts with initiator rule. No, no, no. That is what the challenge. We'll discuss. First we want to understand what is the usability of the standard. Then why the standard? What are the drawbacks in the standard? Then only we will go to custom. See, if we go to directly custom, then we don't know what is the drawbacks of the standard, right? So I want to submit at least one or two requests with standard. So then I want to go with custom. That is the reason I'm not going with the BRF plus more details, because imaginations will not work, right? How we are discussing, each point by point. We will discuss on BRF plus as well. So first we want to understand the standard functionality. Then we will go to BRF plus, so that how in case in your environment you don't have use the custom, we will use only standard. Then at least you want to understand what are the options and where we need to modify. We will use the standard application also. We want to understand, right? That is the reason I'm not going. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 Mm. Yes. 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 Mm-hmm. No, this is the second stage. No? The access request workflow, on which stage, which process ID you are using. So, mhm. Yes, no, rule ID. No, no process ID. Only rule ID. Yes, 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 yes. We will use this process ID, and on the flavor of we will create the rule IDs with the same functionalities. Just it's a kind of a copy of the same thing, but we'll discuss that. Yes, yes, complete. Yeah, that see, for a standard function module, they will use a standard function module only. They have developed the complete screen, like the functionality of the each rule ID, set of instructions like function modules. We will use Java, C++, kind of ABAP programming is there, right? So with help of ABAP programming, they have developed the complete code. If we select SOD violation, then the respective code will be enabled, the function module. Similarly, without, suppose training verification. Oh, sorry, we have not discussed the point, right? 1 minute. So yesterday we discussed routing rule. Though SAP has provided a few um, routing rule conditions. SOD training verification, no role owner. So SOD violation, no role owner. So there are different conditions. So these are the standard chances of routing rule SAP has provided. But in case any custom, then based on that, we will create our own. This is a reference, and we will create the flavor. Based on this, we will create any of the custom BRF plus rule IDs. Similarly, standard agent rules are available. Standard agent rule means the this is MSMP, right? So there are so many approvers. If you observe the user agent, firefighter, owner, the instant current approver, and also point of contact, other approver, manager, alternate role owner. So like this, the rule IDs are available. Yes. Okay. Suppose, yeah, whenever it is customization is required, then we will use more on maintain rules. But as soon as we selected the first process ID, then here next, or we'll just directly click on the rules, or we will use the navigation. So once we reached here, then we will select the initiator, standard initiator, because currently we are using standard initiator. Mhm. Yes, yes. Yeah, the different the options might change the functionality. Yes, yes, yeah. So the complete maintain our rules. Okay. So similarly, uh, mhm, yeah, yeah. Mhm. No, see, SAP has given the standard rules or function module. I don't think so. ABAP class is not developed, BRF plus, but there is a facility we can develop, but the standard are almost all function module based. Yes, yes, definitely ABAP. ABAP help is required. Yeah. Say yes. That's what. See, generally we won't do more customization because there is a problem. If we do more customization, SAP cannot support. That is the first thing. Second thing, generally with help of developer, if that is our requirement, then we have to use this standard routing rule with help of developer. Then we will modify the like we will create the copy of a function module, same like standard code. We won't touch the standard code, but we will take the flavor and we will try to customize as per our business requirement. Yes, yes, yes. So I will give one more scenario since you are asking. So we have recently one requirement um, based on this flavor. They have developed the code, but that is completely customer requirement. So I think we discussed during the DRM, the training verification. We will create custom standard some system based or trainings in Spro that will reflect in the role management. If training is yes, then we will create a separate path. That was we discussed in the trigger the value, but we can route for the approval with using routing rule. But the customer requirement is okay. Suppose if I identify person A and I have selected role A for solution manager system, approver I have identified some John. Based on this routing rule, it will go to John. But John, how he confirms whether the person A requested or role for the solution manager, whether he has completed certification or not. So what we have suggested, whatever the knowledge portal, right? We can take the flavor of this rule ID, standard rule ID. We have inserted some of the code, knowledge portal, the portal based complete information. As soon as the user ID user enters in the request and select the role, during the code itself, it will verify. It will trigger to the some create in between. We created the interface from SAP system to LMS, Learning Management System portal. It will trigger to LMS and it will check the user has completed the certification or not. That we cannot achieve with the standard code. We cannot modify the standard code and SAP won't support. This, what we have done, we take this flavor and the same functionality, but we have added additional code to the standard rule ID. So why am I getting? Hello, Pratap? Yeah, okay. Yes, yes. We can take the flavor and we can create. Yeah, we can create. We can create. We can take the standard flavor and we can create. Can you go on meet please? Yeah. So all the three except BRF plus flat by flat rule, all the three rule IDs that requires some ABAP help or development help. So we also discussed the process ID. With the standard, it will shows initiator. And the custom, it will update with the initiator. That's with the number, alphanumeric number. Mm, I just want to make sure rule ID. Mhm. That depends. That depends. See, that depends. I have used the complete 10 years of my experience. Recently, only we have customized this one, and moreover, we have just given the idea. But the knowledge portal LMS, the complete internal um, interaction and everything interfaces that the own ABAP team has discussed with the customer and they have developed. But in the standard practice, the standard detour violation, like whenever the SOD violation, then we will route the standard workflow. Whenever the training verification is required, then it will route for the appropriate owner. That is what we have so far completed maximum. But apart from that, I never customize. But recently only we have used some training verification. That is more development is required because in between we need some interface everything. So that customer development team has worked out. My system. I don't know, some issue. Okay, now okay, we have covered this as well. Now moving on to third stage, maintain agents. Okay, in the maintain agents, generally this is used for either approval or notification purpose. we can create two kind of agents. One is approval and another one is notification. Yesterday we discussed notification, how we want to trigger the third party or some any specific agent which we need to go for the notification purpose. Uh, just give me a minute. I'm just stop sharing. Just 1 minute. I'm just connecting to remote desktop. Come on. I'm really sorry that system is not working, but we'll go through slides. Okay, the approval, the agents will be basically four type of agents. So four type of agents means if you want to identify the approver with only one person, then we will use the direct mapped users concept. Like there is a condition one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many, like this one to one condition. Like suppose my business process or my complete request should be approved first with department manager or person X in any of the requirement, then we will use the direct mapped concept. In the approver, we will use the direct mapped user and we will maintain approver A1 to 3, so that every request will go to the A1 to 3. Once he approves, then it will go to the next stage. In case of such a requirement one to one, the request should be approved, then we will use the direct mapped users concept. If our requirement is yes, mhm, yes, yes. Either if your all the risks should be approved by only one compliance manager. No, 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 no. Instead of roll on. No, no, no. See, okay. Let me. mm, I want to give example. Okay. Suppose you have a workflow. Okay, three stages. Okay, the first stage is you want to approve manager. Okay, now the second stage is roll owner. Now third stage SOD or without SOD anything. So it should be approved by SOD, but a person A, any of the risk. It should be a finance risk or it should be a OTC risk. It should be a basis risk. Any of the things. Only the person A should be approver. He should approve the request. In this case, you can use the direct mapped users concept because you know. The person, only one person should approve. Okay. That is different. That is different. During the role imports, we will maintain the owner. Okay. No, that directly we will use the role owner. Map ID is role owner. It's not. It's not like that. I'll tell you. Don't go with this. I will show in the system. Then you will understand. Okay. I will. Okay. Okay. See, we are in a starting phase only. We are a small baby, so it has to be feed with parex. Then we will start with food, right? Full meals. You don't worry. Not even. We just started a baby. Okay, the baby needs to grown up. Okay, first one-to-one condition. My condition is a specific approver. Then we will use the direct map users. Okay, if there are four or five people, should be reviewer and it should notify, kind of a mass. We can identify owner, the position is one, but it should map to multiple users. Then we will use the pfcg role. We will create one role and we will maintain in the stage that approvers, whoever the assigned role, all are approvers. So the same condition here, B, C, D, E. All five are the approvers. In that particular condition, we will use the PFCG role or even user group. Suppose if you want to understand better, we will use third stage would be, instead of security, we will make as security, right? The complete security group has to review and approve. Security group, not only one person, it should be at least 2 to 3 persons, at least more than one person, right? So one to many condition. Position is a security stage, but people are multiple people can notify. So we will use create a map the security group or user administrator or role administrator or security administrator. There is a role which is only assigned to few people. Security group. We can use either a security group, user group concept, or we can identify based on the security role in this particular stage. Then all the people who are assigned role or user group will be the owners of this stage. Identify the owner. So anyone can approve in the request. Then automatically request will be completed. Are you getting me or not? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Another stuff or same stuff means, okay. Mm-hmm. 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 No, ABCD is the approver names. It's a kind of a team. One, two, three, five people, not one people. No, instead of SOD, security team will approve. That's what I said. Okay, 1 minute. No issues. 1 minute. System is very slow. Yeah, yeah. Let me see if you observe in the system, then you might hear better. Mm. No, can you repeat your question? I'm just giving you example. Okay. Yes. Yes. The approver identifies as a role based. notify notification. Yes. And similarly with the user group, the same stage. Instead of role, you can use also facility to create a user group to identify the owners. Oh my god. No. Pratap, don't get a confusion on function module. Okay. I'm just giving you the overview of we can have a facility to one person, the approver. If you want to identify one person, then we will use the direct map user concept. If the same stage, if you want to pass through multiple approvers should be notified, then we will use either a pfcg or pfcg role concept or pfcg user group concept. Okay, based on that either one, it will go to notification. Okay, but to answer your question, suppose you have a different modules, then the person might be different, right? That is what you are saying. So that we need to create, that is where we would require uh, BRF plus concept, because that is a many to many condition. Okay, if you take the first three, okay, one to one, one to many, or many to one, either concept PFCG role, only one stage, multiple approvers, one stage, multiple groups. Okay, sorry, one group, multiple approvers needs to be mapped. But whereas for a basis, the approver A, for finance, approver B, for uh, some OTC, the approver C. So there are multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So many to many condition that will not work in standard. That is where we would require BRF plus. So why I will not go BRF plus means you need to understand the basic concept. Then we will go to BRF plus and we can achieve the many to many conditions. Basically, BRF plus is multiple many to many condition, and that cannot be achieved in the standard mm, MSMP. That's it. Nothing apart from that. But the passing through values, um, I want to show in the system for see the manager, same manager or role owner. But the passing through value, either you can use direct mapped user or PFCG role. If I select the PFCG roles, then what is the role name? It will display. I forgot to capture the screenshot actually. Otherwise, I can show in the screen. So it will automatically, if I select the concerned agent ID, it will identify as API rule. API rules is basically a standard function module or custom flat by flat rules. But it will work only, the standard function modules will work only with some restrictions, but whatever we have created agent ID based on the module to module or risk to risk, whatever the role attributes based on role sensitivity or role criticality or risk criticality, you can identify owner, or business process, you can identify owner. So whatever the attribute which is required, then based on that we will map the owner. That is many to many condition. That is where we would require BRF plus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Log on data tab. Yes. 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 No, it will just identify whatever you are creating SUGR user group. That will identifies the manager in the GRC. Okay. Sir, not manager, the approver. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, if you observe, so generally the standard details will be maintained standard API, but if you want to understand the the complete concepts, so this is the agent ID we have created for a specific purpose, and here we have two options. This approver is approval purpose or notification purpose. We will select here. Okay. Here the agent type, direct mapped users, PFCG roles, user group, API role. Okay. So in the direct mapped users, earlier directly we can identify the owner. Okay. But later SAP has provided the approver group concept. So either approver ID we can map approver. Suppose just click on add. So here any of the thing. Maybe just we can create group and we can select any of the approver username. It will pick the user ID. But the drawback of this direct mapped user is whenever the approver left the organization or he got promoted, he has moved to new position, then we have to modify the existing workflow. Remember, this is one drawback I forgot to mention before, because we have a couple of discussions, right? But the drawback of this direct mapped user is one of the drawback. If the customer requirement, then at least we are in a position to explain. We will use either a user group or role in any of the other thing. But the drawback of this user ID concept is whenever the user is changed to position or some other or left the organization, then it should be, I cannot assign anything. To see approval ID. Okay, maybe like this we will add. So any of the approver left the organization or any of the condition, this cannot work. We need to modify the existing workflow. So that is the one point we must remember during the configuration. So today only I got the system. I don't know what users are existing in this system. Just bear me. Okay. Yeah, some ID it was back. So like this we will create. And if you want to delete it, we can delete it. So this is the direct mapped user. So if I select PFCG role, automatically the screens will change. It will ask the, it will go to the role screens now. So make sure that this role will not assign to any of the users except approver. We can create a dummy. We can create a dummy role. Yes, it should be a dummy role. Suppose, yeah, admin role. Yeah, it's a dummy role just to identify the approver. But whatever the access which needs to be provided, that is normal GRAC role only. Either approval, or if the this owner we will be mapped to users, then that user should have GRAC access owner. Suppose if it is a mitigation owner, then MGMT mitigation owner approval. If it is firefighter, MGMT owner role. Whatever the standard roles that needs to be assigned, but this is a dummy role just for identification purpose. Okay. Now I will select user groups. Then it will ask the user groups. Whatever the SU01 logon data tab user groups, suppose security team should notify. Then security team will be maintained. The last one, API rules, we have to create rule ID. Let me check any rule ID. Yeah, agent rule. So it's like how we will create initiator, custom BRF plus flat BRF plus flat by flat line item. Similarly, we will create agent rule. The same details will be maintained in the rule ID. I don't know what it was earlier. I think not user POC. So this is what. So any questions on this? Yes. Yeah. So that is the reason before going to system, first we will design our workflow. How many stages and who is the person to approve the request. So similar everything it should be planned. Okay. Manager is a standard agent. Role owner is a standard agent. Again, I'm just giving example. Generally, we will use role owner. The difference either SOD. How we will sorry how we will identify the SOD. Either if it is SOD based on the business process, like many to many condition, or only one person or multiple person should notify. Like this, we will first design the complete approvers in the design phase. That is what we are going to perform once the 7 stages completed. Then once we understand the complete 7 stages, then we will design our workflow. Then we will start working in the system. How we will um, how to configure, like what kind of a workflow which is required based on the requirement. Then we'll start working in the system. During this design phase itself, we want to understand what is the requirement and what is the scope, everything. And once we one minute, but once we identify the owner, okay, agent type, then in the path, I'm just skipping as of now 4th stage. Just a minute. Just modify. Yeah, in the GRSC owner, GRSC manager stage, modify. So I'll pass through the value here, whatever I have created. Since it is a manager stage, we can use the standard manager. Okay. If it is assume this is a role owner, then we will use standard role owner. Assume the stage is SOD, then we will identify our SOD is based on mm, direct mapped user. One example is there. Oh, we have not selected PFCG role. Okay, direct mapped user, suppose. So I will pass through the value. This particular stage, my agent ID is direct mapped user. So whatever the value which is mapped here, that is going to the request will, as soon as the submit request, then automatically the request is comes to this position. Whatever direct mapped user, let's suppose POC is a personal thing. So it will comes to POC. So here we will use the role owner or PFCG user group, right? Here the approval type, anyone approve, all approval. This stage we are sending mass notification to 4 or 5 people, right? All 5 people should approve or any one of them are approved. That will decide on this setting. This stage we will go more detail on next week, but I'm just giving on a high level. If I select any one of the approver, as per my condition PFCG role, I have notified PFCG role or user group. I'm sending notification to 4 or 5 people. If I select only anyone approve, out of 5, one of them approve, then the request stage, it will move to next stage. If I select all approvers, whatever the notification which is I have sent 5 people, all the 5 people should approve. Then only it will move to next stage. Are you getting me? So the internal meaning, yeah, the internal meaning of this agent identification, it also depends on internally who will approve the request, whether it is all the people or one person. So that is the reason we have to select agent ID mapping, direct mapped PFCG role or PFCG user group or API. We have to make sure that first we will complete the design, then we have to go step by step and we will map the appropriate owners. Actually, it's my bad. I thought I have captured screenshots. This complete step by step. I forgot to capture the screenshots. It's my bad. I have, I have captured the screen. No, 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 no. This is this is only one part right now. No, no, no. See, that is the concept. Na MSMP. That is multiple paths should be there. Yes, yes. So, any questions? Yeah, yeah. Everything. So, yeah, if you understand each stage step by step for all the options, then you will, as soon as the completed 7 stage, then we will design couple of examples, then it will be very easy for you to configure in the system or design. So same like, no, see, since you are seeing screen, so that because of that only automatically. So here we will identify direct mapped users, or like whatever the four options in the agents. The same agent ID will be carried into paths based on the standard agents. We can use standard agents, or we can use custom agents. It is not mandatory that you want to use a standard agent. We can create custom standard, sorry, custom stage and custom approver as well. Okay. Mhm. Yes, yes. We can. That is what you can use a security group. See, even direct mapped users also, you can create one department head user group, or you can create one role and you can assign. The drawback of this direct mapped user is, I told you right, whenever it's moved, then we need to modify the complete workflow. We can add the new role in the development and take several approvals, completed testing. Then we will move across the landscape. Earlier it was used, but later the people was like people has realized there are some drawbacks. Then they start, even if it is one person, then they start creating user group or one role. If you put a role and user group, which one is the best? I would say user group. Why? Because see, as soon as the role is created in the GRC system, sometimes during the role import, instead of you are keeping development status, you are by mistake you are changing the role, right? Changing the role status to PRD. There is a chances of submitting the request for in the access request by mistake, and once it is approved, then this particular user will get the notifications because of PFCG role. So it is not generally GRC or security control role. There might be a chances we will change the role status. We will select star GRC star roles. One of the role is identified by the role owner, sorry, some department head. But by manual error, you can change the status. But the user group is not that case. Definitely, SU01 access should be there. The necessary S underscore user underscore GRP, that group, the particular authorization should be under control with security and GRC team. The chances is, I would say, very less well compared to role. So out of three options, user group would be the best option, we can say. All the approvers should exist in GRC system. That is what we discussed in PSS service. Yeah, end users it doesn't require, but all the users should require in GRC. But it will change case to case. Why? Because if you are using manager as one of the stage, We don't know who is going to change as manager based on the LDAP. So everyone should exist in GRC system. That is the reason the default role concept and standard approval role should be assigned automatically. That we will discuss later, but I'm just giving example that generally approvers should require access. That is called master data. So any other questions? Yes. Shell role is basically to identify the owner. So, but standard in the standard concept, we will for a manager perspective, we will directly use the GRAC manager only. We won't go with the. Uh, we will directly map the manager to manager stage. We won't go much. Okay. But whenever specific condition department head or SOD or anything, then we will check the agent ID or we will identify the agent ID. Suppose if it is a manager stage where passing value is manager, then automatically standard agent would require no? That will be mapped. So this manager ID will be mapped in the LDAP based on the field mapping. It will be automatically populated. So role owner. So since your stage is role owner, then we can during the role import we will maintain the role owners in the master data sheet, right? You remember? Yeah, this stage as role owner, then automatically the role owners standard API it will pick. In the access control owners, we will maintain the role owner. Some exceptions in access control owners for manager and function approver, but it will trigger the API and it will verify access control owners the role owner is existing. Then automatically it will request will go to role owner. Yeah, transportable. We are not reaching to that particular stage, but to answer your question, it will automatically create new transport. You can give description and it will, if you want to use the existing one, if you don't want to transport, you can select this option. Seventh stage. I'm just save and activate. Yeah, this is a 7 simulate option. This is just a save. See, as soon as you have changed any of the things, you just come to save and do not transport, or once the changes are reflected, then probably once completed your changes, then only you can activate that. Anyway, the seventh stage we will discuss. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Then only it's the same concept. PFCG role. Whenever we changed, then we must generate. So same concept here. It will give you the generate new version.